Imagine saving for 10 years, sacrificing weekends, holidays, relationships, just to finally buy your dream home. And 5 months later, you discover the person who sold it to you lied. Not a small mistake, not a misunderstanding, a lie that changed how you would live every single day. So instead of yelling, instead of suing, I waited 6 years. And what happened next destroyed his marriage, his career, and his entire life. If you've ever been underestimated, ignored, or cheated by someone who thought they'd never face consequences, hit that like button, subscribe, and settle in. Because this is one of the most patient revenge stories you'll ever hear.
I'm not a revenge expert. I'm not aggressive. I'm not confrontational. But I am patient. And sometimes, patience is far more dangerous than anger. 7 years ago, I achieved something I never thought possible. I bought my own home. 10 years of saving, 10 years of overtime shifts, skipping vacations, driving an old car while friends upgraded their lives. Every paycheck felt like a small brick being laid toward freedom. The day I got the keys, I stood alone in the empty living room. No furniture, no decorations, just sunlight through the windows and the quiet realization, this is mine. For the first time in my life, I felt safe. Buying alone meant compromises. I couldn't afford a standalone property, so I searched for something cheaper, a shared block. Where I live, many shared properties come with strict communal ownership rules, shared decisions, committees, restrictions. And I hated that idea. I'm private, introverted. I like peace. So when the real estate agent showed me a property labeled freehold title, it felt perfect. Shared land, but independence. No committees telling me how to live. No endless meetings. Just my space. The agent seemed trustworthy too. Local guy, mutual acquaintances, the kind of familiarity that makes you lower your guard. I signed, moved in, started building a life. 5 months later, everything changed. There was a knock. My neighbor's landlord stood outside holding paperwork. We need to talk about the strata insurance. I remember blinking at him. Strata? He nodded casually. My stomach dropped. That word echoed in my head like an alarm bell. I asked for documentation. When the policy arrived, my hands literally shook opening the email. It wasn't freehold. It was strata title. Exactly the situation I had worked so hard to avoid. I called my lawyer immediately. Silence on the line. Then confusion. Then disbelief. Even he had documentation confirming it was freehold. Emails, listings, written confirmation from the agent himself. Everything said freehold. Everything except reality. The truth was undeniable. I had been sold the wrong property description. And my dream home suddenly felt smaller, less mine, restricted, controlled. I remember sitting at my kitchen table late that night, staring at the wall, feeling something heavy settle in my chest. Not just anger, betrayal. I arranged a meeting with the real estate agent. I walked in prepared. Printed listings, email chains, highlighted statements, black and white proof. I laid everything on the table. He barely looked at it. Crossed arms, calm smile. No mistake on my end. No apology, no accountability. Nothing. Just denial. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't emotional.
We entered mediation. I didn't demand money, didn't ask for damages. I made one simple request. When I sell the property, your agency handles it or covers the selling costs. Fair, reasonable, balanced. He refused. Flat out. Instead, he offered me $1,000 to go away. $1,000 for years of consequences. I could have sued. The mediator even suggested it. But my health at the time wasn't great. Stress wasn't an option. So I walked away. Quietly. And that's when revenge stopped being an emotion and became a plan.
Anger burns hot, but patience burns forever. I didn't want money. I wanted balance. I wanted him to feel uncertainty, the same way I had. So I started researching. His social media wasn't private. Photos everywhere. Family pictures, smiling wife, perfect life. Then I saw something interesting. A vacation album. Boys on tour. Drinks, beaches, party photos from another country. I kept scrolling. And then the idea came. Slowly, beautifully. I found his home address through public business records. On the anniversary of my property purchase, exactly 1 year later, I sent flowers. Elegant, romantic, with a note. Dear real estate agent, remembering you on this, our special day. She has your eyes. Love, L. I imagine the moment. Doorbell ringing, his wife answering. Confusion, questions, suspicion. And I smiled for the first time since the betrayal. Most revenge is loud. Mine was quiet. Every year, same date, new flowers, slightly different wording, always referencing their special day. Always signed, Love, L. Sometimes postcards arrived, mailed from the same country as his vacation trip. Short messages, intimate tone, just enough to plant doubt, never enough to prove anything. I didn't harass him. I didn't contact him directly. I simply reminded his household of a mystery that wouldn't go away. Year after year. 6 years. Patience. Consistency. Silence. 3 weeks ago, through mutual acquaintances, I heard news. He had divorced, lost his house, left real estate entirely. Apparently, the flowers became a yearly argument. His wife grew suspicious. Same date, every year. Eventually, she connected the timing to his overseas trip. He admitted cheating. Their marriage collapsed. But here's the twist I never expected. A year before selling me the house, he'd returned from that same trip with an STD. He gave it to his wife and somehow convinced her it wasn't him. Until the flowers. Until our special day. Until doubt became certainty. I never confronted him again. Never revealed myself. Never claimed credit. I just heard the outcome from afar. Divorce. Half his retirement gone. Home sold. Career finished. And I sat there feeling something strange. Not joy. Not exactly guilt either. Just closure. Because karma didn't arrive screaming. It arrived slowly. Patiently. Exactly the way I did. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about letting truth find its way to the surface. He lied to protect himself. He refused accountability. And eventually, his own actions caught up with him. All I did was knock gently on the door once a year. Karma doesn't always strike instantly. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it watches. And sometimes it sends flowers. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, was this revenge justified? Or did it go too far? And don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories of patience, justice, and perfectly timed karma. Because the best revenge stories are the ones nobody sees coming.